Hello and welcome to Dots of Destiny, friends. I am little late with this Jupiter retrograde video because Mercury retrograde is creating a lot of problem presently. Anyway, late but still I'll try to give the predictions in this video for the 12 signs. Now see, retrogression is a phenomenon that happens every year, especially big planets like Jupiter and Saturn. They go retrograde for 3.5 to 4 months. Retrogression is a phenomena, though seems like the planet is moving backward, but exactly it is not so. No planet moves usually backward, but as you've traveled in a train, when two trains are running together and one train is gaining more speed, it seems that the second one is running a little slow. But it is not running slow. It is having its original speed. But maybe the other one is running so fast, it seems that the second one is moving backward. That kind of a thing is retrogression. So Jupiter, the big planet of prosperity, wealth, goodness, is retrograde from 4th of September. And in retrogression from Bharani, it will come to Ashwini Nakshatra, and then again it will go to Bharani later. So it will complete its retrogression in Ashwini. Full January month it will be in Ashwini. February, March it will be in Bharani, and roughly then in April it will move into Kritika. So this retrogression will have lot of transformative effects on our lives, though not like the Rahu transformation, because Rahu was also traveling in Bharani, if you remember. And from last year, November, I think 2022 to February or March, maybe not the exact dates, but nearly like that. So Bharani is a very transformative nakshatra. It's like metamorphosis. It's coming out of the butterfly from the cocoon. So this nakshatra, when Jupiter is there, Jupiter always gives us it is a guru. It gives us the, learning. It makes us understand why we need a transformation in that area. So definitely some rethinking will be there, some reprogramming of things, contemplation, because see, what is retrograde? A planet in mundane world, like we take a car and we are moving towards a destination, but we forgot our driving license or something. Then what we have to do, we have to back to the place home where we have that, and we then pick it up and continue. So see, the planet is not very in a good state or good mood, because see, as you halt the car, you want to come back to get your driving license because you know that is what you have missed. Do you feel very good at that time? There's a little bit irritation in the process. But the conviction is high. Try and understand a little bit, friends, what I'm trying to say. As you move back to get your driving license, you have missed out on certain moments which can be very important. So what you do is that you come back, you take the license, and then as you start from your home driving the car back to your destination with double conviction. So what I'm trying to say is that retrograde planet has lot of capacity. In Shadvala, there is a Cheshta Bal. So Cheshta Bal is the highest of a retrograde planet. That means internally it has a lot of capacity. It knows what to do as it turns back, contemplates, does the thing. So any kind of retrogression, whether it's Jupiter, Saturn, Mercury, Venus, needs a lot of contemplation. At the end of the day, the theme is that contemplation regarding the area where it is sitting and also the houses which it is controlling. That is very important in a retrograde motion. So this has to be remembered, that though the planet has a lot of Cheshta Bal, lot of capacity, a retrograde planet, whether in the natal chart or in the transit, what happens is that it is a little passive. The results don't come up easily, because you remember you have to go back and take your driving license. That is the process. So it will not show up very easily, and sudden incidents occur very much in retrogression. If you have a natal planet also in your horoscope, you will see that there will be sudden incidents regarding this retrograde planet in your horoscope, where it is sitting and the houses it is controlling. Because these jerk and sudden incidents that you get from a retrograde planet will make you contemplate more, understand more, and redo the process, in a perfect way. So that is the theme that Jupiter will be putting forward in this retrogression till 31st of December. From 1st of January, those results which you have again tried, again you have redone the thing, it will start flowing in. But do remember, Saturn is having an aspect on that Jupiter. This Jupiter is not free from malefic effect. Though Rahu will subside from 30th October, they will not be in the same sign. But one thing is clear, Saturn has a third aspect on Jupiter, and Saturn will curb some of the Jupiterian tendencies. That is very much seen. So this is how the retrogression I will see, and Bharani being the main Ashwini, obviously it will go to Ashwini. So Ashwini is the starting point of all the 27 constellations. You'll start on the journey very fresh again after rethinking everything, but Bharani brings out the main cocoon transformation, the total metamorphosis of that area. So let us see what the 12 signs are here to go through this retrogression. For Aries ascendants. For Aries, Jupiter is transiting on the Lagna. Rahu is there with Jupiter till 30th of October. Then Jupiter will be alone, retrograde on your Lagna. So definitely the contemplation will be about yourself, and which areas concerning the 12th and the 9th house. So on the Lagna, Jupiter will make you contemplate about your health, about your expenses, because 12th house is the expenses, and also 9th house is your higher learning and distant journeys and all these things. So suppose you want to hear the 12th and 9th lords, being the 12th and 9th lord, see distant journeys if you want to make, if you want to travel and settle down in another country, if you wanted a visa which has been stalled, or you want to go for higher studies, which subjects are you choosing in the, suppose some kind of choosing of place subject is there. So you can just redo the rethinking part of it once. And health is very important when a retrograde Jupiter aspected by a retrograde Saturn is there on your Lagna, because 12th house is expenses, hospitalization, that can also happen if care about the health is not taken. It is aspecting your 5th house and 9th house also. See, now 9th house and self, that is the first house, is having good, because Jupiter is aspecting its own house of Sagittarius, and the Lagna is getting fully activated because Rahu will shift from the Lagna to the 12th house, and now Lagna Jupiter is there and Saturn is aspecting this Jupiter. So please take care of your health, maybe start a new regime. You'll have some ideas means, see, you'll realize something. Jupiter is not about exactly ideas. Some knowledge will start flowing, and you will start thinking in that process that okay, this was not the step regarding maybe some investments also. 12th house, some people can take big, they're thinking, because Jupiter is also a money planet, thinking of some big investment, something like that, some trading investments and all these things. So all these themes will come into fruition. Like, you take this time out. Retrogression, sudden things can happen also. So retrogression phase, please don't hurry into things. Understand one thing, that retrogression is internal energy reflecting on the thing things that is about to happen, or what changes you can do, so that the things that will happen in the near future concerning your Lagna from January to April, it's a good time. It's basically a good time. Then Jupiter will move into the second house. So think about the expenses, whether it's necessary or not. Think about the places if you want to visit. Think why the visa is getting stalled. Think what kind of subject. Think what is your relationship with your father. All these things will happen in this retrogression phase. Always see, planets give us a scope to think. Every time is not an action time, because if we don't think and jump into conclusions, things may be wrong. And here Jupiter, the big planet sitting on your Lagna, will make you go through a transformative process also, because see, it is the 12th lord, and also the main theme of this retrogression and next direct Jupiter also will be mainly Bharani, and Saturn is constantly having a third aspect on this Jupiter. So it is a time to understand and realize. Hope you do well in this ending of the year time. Okay, next ascendant is Taurus. Taurus, Jupiter is in the 12th house retrograde, and it controls your 11th house, and 11th house is the house of gains and also your 8th house. But see, Tauran people, this Jupiter, though it's a guru, it is never a malefic planet, but it is not a very good planet for your ascendant. That has to be understood. It is holding the 8th house ownership for sudden events, legacies, wills, taxes and all these things, and also the 11th house of big desires. Now, when it is in the 12th house, you can feel some kind of Rahu will transit in the 11th. Jupiter had been in the 11th. You will feel that as of now, maybe you are not getting the spotlight. Maybe things are a little up on the head. Maybe decisions are pending regarding some 11th house things, like maybe incoming monies are not coming to you exactly in the way you want. Sudden chunk of money can happen, can come during this retrogression phase. Now, then that can also be spent on expenditure, because Jupiter is there in the 12th house with Rahu till the 30th of October. Then it will be alone, and Rahu will come into the 11th. So things will progress as far as the 11th house is concerned, slowly but steadily. But it may happen you feel you're not getting noticed enough. You feel that you need some kind of meditative practice, some kind of, sitting alone, contemplation on this 11th and the 8th house, because 8th house is also the suddenness that you get. So wherever the 8th lord goes, it will have this characteristics of suddenness with itself. So that cannot be missed. So, and also retrograde planets give quick sudden results. Though it is passive, it is strong and passive. It makes you internalize things, makes you understand things, makes you go into the details. Suppose you have done something regarding your 11th house or your 8th house of research, wills, legacies, taxes. Maybe you are not getting the money back. Maybe you have paid some taxes and the money is not coming back. Maybe some extra income has been generated, but it is not exactly coming back. These things can happen because 12th house, lot of energy is there in the 12th house. Saturn from the 10th is also aspecting the 12th house. So things will happen, but you have to wait. Suppose some progress can happen in this retrogression, but that progress that will also make you contemplate on the greater perspective of things, because you have to understand again that 12th house is about bed rest, about meditativeness, about contemplation, about being alone in solitude. There is a reason that a planet like Jupiter is going over there retrograde, making you understand that before you proceed, before it moves into your Lagna next year, when you'll be seen more, you'll be expressing yourself more. Some kind of contemplation is required, and this 3 months or 4 months, September, October, November, December, you do the contemplation. If you get some profit also from your legacies, from your inheritance, from your gains, enjoy it, but then don't leave alone the contemplation part of it. It is looking into your all the moksha trikon, 12th, so it is looking into the 4th and also in the 8th and the 6th also. So try and maintain some peace within yourself. Try and understand why things are happening the way they are happening. Rahu will move very fast into the 11th. It will make you again more, good to go. So those things will happen. From January you can make the full plan and take a head-on start, because now Jupiter from the 12th, it will give its result and go to your first house. So it's not a bad transit, but any retrograde comes with mulling and contemplation. Have a good time. Now we come to the Gemini ascendants. Gemini, Jupiter is in your 11th house, and 11th house, it is having the lordship of your 10th house and your 7th house. Two Kendra positions Jupiter is having, and ownership. So 10th house lord, when it is traveling in the 11th house, usually it is good, because all the things that you have done for the 10th house, your karma is getting now benefited from the 11th house. Or during the Pisces transit, Jupiter had been in the 10th house. Now Guru is here to bestow with the good results of the 11th your desire fulfillments. That is there. It's a good transit, but understand one thing, that Saturn is there in the 9th house. Somewhat it is obstructing your fortune, because now it is retrograde also. Though Saturn is not a bad planet for you, it's a good planet. It holds the fortune lordship, fortune house lordship, but still Saturn is a slow planet. So it is slowing down the gains of the 11th house to some extent. And now because Jupiter is retrograde, you can feel that okay, gains are coming, but it is a little subdued. And because Jupiter, when it goes into the 11th, it is a natural karaka of the 11th house also. It is aspecting the 3rd and the 7th, and Jupiter is an expansive planet, so it usually gives a lot of expansion to the Kama Trikon of 3rd and the 7th, and the 5th also it is having an aspect. Now your partner can also have some gain, because the 7th lord is in the 11th. But all these gains, sudden gains can happen, but all these gains will again make you contemplate more on the affairs of the 11th house and the 10th house and the 7th house altogether. So the partner can feel a little different, a little passive. He wants more. That can also happen. But if from your horoscope, because 7th lord is in the 11th, he can gain. And in this 4 months, he or she can gain, and later even more. So wait. As of now, if you get a profit, if you get some recognition, if you get some awards and rewards, be happy with that. But do contemplate on the 10th and the 7th house also, because definitely Jupiter being retrograde aspected by Saturn will make you realize something about the 11th house. See, 11th house is such a house, most of the planets, they work well over there. But it's a retrogression planet. Don't be in a hurry to jump into conclusion. It is a good transit, no doubt about it. You have a lot of strength now in the 9th, 10th and 11th. Rahu will be going into the 10th. So it's a good time, Gemini ascendant, no doubt about it. But whenever planet is retrograde, take things a little slowly. That is advisable, because see, you want to put in efforts into maybe new projects, because Jupiter is aspecting the 3rd house. So that may happen, because 3rd house is your Leo house, and Saturn is also aspecting. So the Leo house is getting a lot of strength. So wait, don't jump, don't be fast. Wait, because as I'm telling, this energy of retrograde, any retrogression will have some internal things to do it, to redo it, redo. So however good the transit is, you have to redo. That is the main theme of a retrogression. But having said that, this transit is good for you, and whether Rahu being in the 11th or in the 10th, Saturn being in the 9th, all three are aligned to give some very good results. That is for sure. So Gemini ascendant, it's a good transit. Just don't be in a hurry. Contemplate and go a little slower. Thank you. Now comes the Cancer ascendant. Cancer ascendant, Jupiter is in the 10th house now, and it is having ownership of your 9th house and the 6th house. Over here, definitely you may want to change the job arena. It can happen because Rahu had been transiting this 10th house for a long time. Maybe you have got some new offers, you want to change your locality, you want to do something new, some new ideas are coming up. 9th house, you want to, maybe if your father is there, you want to strike a good relationship, maybe. It can happen sometimes that things may flare up on the face. 6th house ownership is there, your daily routine, your health regime, all comes under the scrutiny of Jupiter. Jupiter is obviously a good planet for you, but it rules one of the Dusthana also. So 6th house affairs like daily job, your co-workers, your daily health regime, all this can come under your contemplation, and the 10th house also. If you want to change your position in the place where you're working, or professional life, some kind of change you want to make, or in the way of doing things in your professional life you want to change that, because see, it is the Artha Trikon which is getting activated. Your second, Jupiter is looking into the 2nd house, your 4th house, and also your 6th house. So 2, 6, 10 is the main theme here. So things are getting activated in the Artha Trikon. Jupiter is willing to give some very good results, and Leo house is in full-fledged your concentration now, the 2nd house of your money and your savings. Jupiter is having an aspect on that. Saturn from Aquarius is having an aspect of that. So slowly Rahu will be moving into your 9th house. So Jupiter being the lord of the 9th house, so Rahu is moving there. If you want to go for higher studies or you want to travel for some purpose, you have to take a step back and then contemplate more about these things. And money matters are very much in your head now, because not only Jupiter, retrograde Saturn is in the 8th. So 8th lord is aspecting your 10th house. You are running through ascendant. If it's moon Cancer, then more. You're running through an Ashtam Saturn. So be a little careful. Don't suddenly change things. Saturn is directly looking into a work area, into your savings things. So be a little wary of it. And also it is having an aspect on the 5th Scorpio also. So why I'm talking about these two planets, they both are retrograde now. And retrograde planets have a lot of capacity to give results which will force you to think about things. The arrangement is not bad for Jupiter in the 10th house. If it can make you understand that if you want to shift things, if you want to do it in a new way, if you want to put your hard work, your savings, you want to think more on that, do all these. Because retrogression of a planet is meant to redo things. You have to redo things, so that from the January month, when it starts in the direct motion from the 1st of January, you are better off. You have done your homework, because be very wary of the 8th Saturn. 8th Saturn also gives knee-jerk reaction. Retrograde planets in the 8th house, very fast, sudden reactions, sudden events can happen. It is aspecting your 10th house. Hope everything will be under your control, and you'll be able to understand, okay, this is the need of the hour and I need to contemplate on it, and I then want to move forward. Because Jupiter from it is there in the 10th, then it will go to your 11th in Taurus. So it is a good transit now for Jupiter. It is being your 9th lord, is traveling its 10th house, then in the 11th house. It's good. Just you need to think and then you restart. Thank you. Next comes Leo. Leo ascendants, Jupiter is traveling in your 9th house of higher learning and your long distance travel, and your also your father house is also 9th and 10th both. Now Jupiter is your 8th lord and your 5th lord, and it is aspecting the Dharma Trikon, that is the 1st house, the 5th house, and also the 3rd house also. So as it is, lot of planets is there on the ascendant already. Mercury is there retrograde, Saturn is aspecting, Jupiter is aspecting, Rahu is aspecting, Venus in the 12th. So all these things happening, lot of things going on with the Leo ascendants. With Jupiter in the 9th, it will make you understand if you want to go for a research oriented thing, you to want to go for traveling, then what is the need of the hour, what needs to be done. 8th lord in 9 gives transformation which is quiet, but yes, it will make you realize certain things, because see, Jupiter is the great teacher also. From the 9th house, it aspects your Lagna. So 8th house lord, though it is a 5th house lord also, 8th house lord, when it aspects the 9th and it is aspecting when it's traveling in the 9th, aspecting the Lagna, it will give you some, deeper realization, because Jupiter's aspect is even more powerful than its position where it is sitting. So here, please do not hurry in the matters of higher education, traveling. The health of your father needs to be checked from time to time. After all, it's the 8th lord, and so it's a good transit, but Jupiter as of now is not in a position to give a lot of flourishing result to your fortune in that way. Yes, retrograde planets have their own way of giving results, no doubt about that, but once it is direct and Rahu comes to the 8th house, then that Jupiter is more in a position to give a even better result. So wait till that time, because see, Rahu is also, I take the 5th and 9th aspect of Rahu, so Rahu is also in a way aspecting your Lagna, Saturn is also aspecting your Lagna. You can feel a little bit, all the energies are getting bubbled up and let me try something faster, but things are not advised to run faster in a retrograde phase. If you understand what a retrogression is, which I have discussed in the first few minutes of my video, retrogression is not the energy to move fast. It is a subdued energy, and it is internal energy. Take it inside, understand what is going on with the 5th house. You can see sudden changes of your progeny also, your love affairs also. These things can also happen. It can go a huge transformation. You have to understand these things, because obviously the 5th lord transiting in the 9th house is really a good condition. Luck house lord transiting into the fortune house, it is a very good condition, but you have to be slow and understand the process and how to get the best out of these houses, the 5th and the 8th house. What is Jupiter trying to make you understand regarding these houses? 5th house is progeny, your love affairs, if you have some mantra practices, and also speculation. If somebody is in speculation, that is also the speculation house, and it is your luck house. So you may feel, my God, my luck is not rising in any way. Wait a little bit, because Saturn is aspecting your luck lord from the 7th house. That is also a problem. So Jupiter is highly having afflicted or getting afflicted from Rahu and Saturn. So wait for it a little bit, since you have waited for long, a little bit more. Understand what the retrogression wants to speak to you, and then continue your movement forward beginning from the next year. That will be my little suggestion. Thank you. Virgo Lagna. Virgo people, Jupiter is transiting in your 8th house, and it is the lord of your 7th house and the 4th house. So again, here also 2 Kendra houses are getting activated. So 8th house Jupiter can be good in giving you legacies and inheritances, some tax returns, tax benefits, all these things it can do. But be very careful with certain chronic diseases arising, because Saturn is traveling in your 6th house, aspecting this Jupiter. Rahu was still there in the 8th house. So some lower part of the body problem, all the planets are aligned in the, Rahu will come into the 7th, so 6th, 7th and 8th. These positions is not very good for the health part of the thing. And your Lord Mercury is now combust and retrograde in the 12th house. So health is the first priority. You have to understand that. Jupiter is a Kendra planet for you. Your husband, because your husband or wife, the 7th house of partnership, has gone on to the 8th house and getting retrograde over there. So partner's wealth also can come. Partner may have to go some kind of transformation. They may have to live a little bit outside from you, maybe due to some work, because see, 8th house will give sudden changes to that 7th house thing. And during retrogression, because the 6th and the 8th house are both blocked by two huge planets, so be a very, it is a carefully trodden journey at this time. Do understand, certain times certain planets align in such a way that we cannot speak always good about it. Yes, Saturn will try to make your life disciplined in the 6th house, but 8 Jupiter can give sudden things that may crop up, sudden cropping up of things, because again Rahu will be transiting into your 7th house, Ketu will come in the 1st house. Some hidden things else also Jupiter can bring out, because you know Jupiter in the 8th house will try to give you, especially in this 4 months, some knowledge about the 8th house. And 8th house is all deep, the very unusual things, secretive things. Obviously you can benefit from legacies if you're supposed to, you know, because it is aspecting the 4th house and the 12th house. You can move to a distant location from your motherland. There you can face, already you may have moved, you can face a little bit of isolation also, because your 4th lord is in the 8th now. And also that, see, if you're supposed to get a money, sudden chunk of money, because 8th house is not all bad, it brings about some money matters also. If you want to do certain trading, some secretive money investments or something which is not known to others, what I mean. So be a little careful, because Jupiter is retrograde now. Wait and think, because Mercury is also not in good position now. Wait, think and then move if you want to do. Take one thing at a time. Your health comes first. That is first and foremost. Health should be the most important priority. Because when Ketu transits the Lagna, we sometimes, it will, from 30th October, we sometimes tend to forget about ourselves. Concentration goes to a different area. And all the major planets being in the 6th, 7th, 8th, your concentration lies over there. Where enemies, dealing with enemies, your loans and all, Saturn will constantly put an eye on that area. Then Rahu will come to the 7th house. So your partner, you can get a little obsessed and think why things are going like this and why somebody is behaving a little different. Or even 7th house is some kind of material success or status growth in the society. That can also be a, you know, lurking thing in your mind, that when I'll be getting that. And 8th house is all these things, you know, sudden affairs of things. Tax, if you, for the Libra Lagna. For Libra ascendants, Jupiter is traveling in your 7th house and is retrograde there. It is aspecting directly your Lagna, and it is the ruler of the 3rd and the 6th. Not a great planet for you people, but it is traversing in the 7th house, will definitely bring up some themes with partnership, whether it is business partnership or your daily marriage partner. It will give some themes in that area, and you have to think how you can manage that area. Some kind of, see, Jupiter does not work very well in the 7th house, because here Saturn becomes Digbala. So Jupiter in the first, it is better. It is strength position there. So it is nonetheless aspecting your Lagna. Retrograde Jupiter aspecting your Lagna, telling you to understand something about your partner. Definitely. So some kind of theme will play in these few months, that you will know, you will get the knowledge how to handle the things about the 7th house, because Jupiter is trying to make you put some effort. The 3rd house lord coming into the 7th, a desire house lord in another desire house. You may have had some desires regarding the 7th house, so you have to put in the effort in that house, definitely. So here also the 6th house lord, some dispute. 6th house is always the dispute place, and also it is, daily jobs and everything is there, but mainly over here 6th house lord coming into 7th house can bring some dispute or some some things that may not go well with your partner. That can happen. And it's a retrograde Jupiter aspecting your Lagna, is telling you to understand how to deal with that situation. You may get a little edgy during the situation, because Jupiter will also expand that area. So look into your belly area also, it can get more expansive in this way also. Then it will go to your 8th house next year, then also. So keep a check on your health also. In that way the weight gain tendencies, they happen more when Jupiter is traveling the 6th, 7th, 8th. And it is aspecting your 3rd and the 7th house. 3rd and the 7th are both, these are your desire houses. So you have some desire fulfillment inside you. You want that to happen, and maybe you want the participation of your partner also from that. So be patient with it, because you have to go through this phase of contemplation, and Jupiter aspects your Lagna will give you the realization also. Then slowly you can understand what is going. See, Venus is now direct. It is traveling in your 11th house, so it is direct now. That is good. Slowly Venus will go in October to your 12th house, and then it will come into your Lagna. So this time is Lagna lord, once it's direct. When Jupiter went retrograde, Venus became direct. That is good. In the 11th house it will transit for this whole month. That is also good. But when it's go to the 12th house, so be a little wary about your relationships a little bit, or partnerships or expenses, all this, because the desires that generate within us may not happen immediately. You have to deal with the situations. If you want a location change in the 3rd house, because also this 7th house is like going towards a different land also from the Lagna. 7th we also see from foreign destinations and all this. If you 7th is also a prominent position in the society. If you were desiring all these things, then it can happen, but slowly, because Rahu will now travel into the 6th house and Saturn is in your 5th house. So a little bit slowed down space in your luck area and all this. So wait for a little bit, let the retrogression pass, because retrogression is a different energy altogether. Some sudden events can arise regarding your 7th house. At that time you have to be cautious and take things in a judicious way. Don't rush into conclusions, don't misunderstand things, because Jupiter is the guru trying to make you understand something about the 7th house. That is what I will say about this transit. It is trying to make you understand how to deal with the 7th house affairs. First and foremost is that. So the transit is not bad, but at this position, Rahu, Jupiter being in the 7th, aspected by Saturn, it's, and all are retrograde. Saturn retrograde, Jupiter retrograde, Rahu is still there in the 7th house. The things can get a little, complicated to handle. I'll put in that way. So take time. Retrogression is about taking time, is about redoing things, understanding again. So that is the theme that will be generated during this time. Thank you. Now I come to the Scorpio Lagna after Libra. So Scorpio people, Jupiter is transiting the 6th house, being the lord of the 2nd house and the 5th house. So sixth house, in sixth house, it is like all the daily affairs, jobs are getting here boost in the sense, see, Rahu was there in the sixth house for a long time, it is still there. 30th October, it is moving from the sixth house to the fifth house. Now here Jupiter in retrogression will bring some challenges in the daily area. It is aspecting your second house and your 10th house. Some things regarding the savings area it is trying to make you understand, and also the office area, because maybe your higher powers and your lower co-workers needs to be handled judiciously in certain kind of a way, because Jupiter doesn't want you to fight things out. It wants you to take a cautious step towards these things. The fifth lord being in sixth can have some tussle with the love affairs, some tussle with the progeny. If you have a child, then can some disagreements happen, but these disagreements will make you understand that you may need to understand these areas even better. So don't be in a hurry, and retrograde energies are not a hurried energy. It is a deep internal energy to understand things in a better way. So Jupiter will give you that quality in the sixth house to understand things regarding your co-workers, regarding your savings, regarding your progeny. You may have conflicts in all these areas. It is aspecting the 10th house. It will make you understand how to deal with the 10th house matters, because Saturn is also aspecting the 10th house. It is there in the 4th house. So 10th house, Leo house, is becoming very prominent. Some changes can happen in that area, little bit here and there, which needs to be adjusted, which needs to be taken in your stride, and not get upset with it, because that is how the contemplation will play out. That is how the retrogression will play out. So it's a time where you go with the flow, slowly you go, and you understand what the sixth house is demanding from you, and don't go into conflicts, because Jupiter is a guru. It will give you the knowledge to not go into unnecessary conflicts with people. Otherwise, from January you will see some certain changes in the daily affairs of your life, daily job of your life, that will happen. So that's a slow process, a little bit take a step back in these few months. It's nearly the end of the year, 4 months more, so then you are raring to go from the next year. Okay, thank you, Scorpio. Now I come to Sagittarius. Sagittarius ascendant, Jupiter is transiting in your 5th house. It is aspecting the Lagna, the 9th house. Should have been a very good position for Jupiter, but here it is going retrograde and also in conjunction with Rahu for a long time. You may have gone through a lot of illusions during this time. Maybe you have had thought what is happening in the process, because see, 5th house is our intelligence also. Once Rahu travels in the 5th house or transiting, the intelligence can sometimes go for a hijack. It happens. Rahu has that kind of tendency. So what the theme that had been playing for 2022 and also beginning of 2023 till date, now you'll realize there are certain things that needs to be understood in that area. Because Rahu is now subsiding, going into your 4th house, and now Jupiter is holding on to your 5th house in retrogression, and it is your Lagna Lord. That is very important. Your Lagna in the 5th house is understanding a lot of things, because Jupiter is aspecting your Lagna. It is aspecting your 11th house and your 9th house. So the Dharma Trikona is active. And here the Leo house, the 9th house of fortune, the higher understanding, spirituality, understanding the faith of it, all this is the theme that Jupiter retrograde will bring in your life. Contemplation of a lot of things that has already maybe been messed up in the year 22 and till now 2023, because there was a Guru Chandal Yoga also in the 5th house. See, 5th house is a very pious house. It is, maybe you have made some investments in the share market, some which did not pay off, which was not in a very good, some paid off, some did not. So all these things Jupiter will make you contemplate on all these factors. It's a good transit. Please sit back and understand what the Guru is trying to make you. Again and again I'll reinforce the fact, retrograde planets, sudden events can happen. It's a passive force, but it's a very strong force internally. We need to understand a lot of things internally when a planet is retrograde in transit. We should not rush into things. Once we understand, we get a better perspective, then we can start running or slowly inching a forward motion with those understanding that the any retrograde planet wants us to understand. Here Jupiter is doing it for your own growth. 100%. It is those Saturn is aspecting this Jupiter. It is for your own growth, because after all, when Rahu subsides and Jupiter becomes direct, it will aspect your Lagna in full force. So there is a great scope of learning from this transit, and progeny can start doing well. Love situations will improve. Your luck will shine better, because all these things, Rahu was giving an illusion on all these things. So these things will play out. It will happen. Slowly but steadily, it will happen surely. Best of luck. Now I come to Capricorn ascendants. Capricorn ascendants, Jupiter is in the 4th house. And Rahu was there in the 4th house for a long time. And now Rahu will slowly transit into your 3rd house. Here the position will be better. Not immediately, because now it is in retrogression. Then Rahu will slowly move by after 30th of October. All these are slow things that is happening. And see, Jupiter will give you some, maybe you had a lot of problem in your total well-being. Maybe family members could have misunderstood you. Maybe you had a heavy heart during all this time with the Guru Chandal Yoga, and you're just managing through it. Maybe you resorted to some kind of techniques for a better quality of your life. All these things will slowly happen, and Jupiter will give you that kind of a grace slowly. Once Rahu subsides, 3rd house Rahu is better. You will have more efforts in your life. You will be able to understand where to put the efforts, where to not put it, where to go away from it. All these things slowly will happen with you. Okay, but it will take some time. It will not happen immediately. It will not happen immediately. That is the first thing. So this is a good transit in a way that things will start clearing up. That is the best way I can put it. It is the 12th Lord also. So some kind of, maybe loss from the inside, if not physical. Something may have been lost in your emotional quotient. You may have lost some feelings. You can have incurred some expenses due to your 4th house of some home front, real estate. You are thinking more on that whether that will be a loss or something. You may have lost some family members, whether physically or emotionally, during this phase, because 4th house is a very soft and nice house, and Rahu had been transiting this house for a very long time. So it was really a not good situation right from 2022 March, April to this date at all. It is not a good situation for you all. That is totally understood. Saturn was on the Lagna. Saturn now comes into the 2nd house. You have full focus on your savings. You know that I have to be judicious. I cannot spend unnecessarily. All this is there. All this theme is there. So that now Jupiter will slowly give you the grace to go through this time, the things that you have been facing within the home front and all this, and slowly it will come better. It will come better off. Even your best Lord, your Yoga Karak Venus, was combust and retrograde for a long time, and Mercury is also still that in the 8th house. Mercury is there. So all these things are happening around you. not a very good time at this moment, but obviously Capricorn Lagna, you will come out of it. Once Rahu goes into the third, Jupiter is left alone, and in retrogression it will make you understand you have to go deep within, because Jupiter, when in this fourth house, it is good because original in the Kalpurush Kundali it gets exalted in the fourth house, but it gives a lot of spiritual touch to that thing also, because it is aspecting the 12th house and the 8th house. And so that you have to understand that the third house lord has come into the fourth house. So some efforts also regarding your the fourth house matters comes very much prominent, very prominent. It's becoming. Rahu was there, Jupiter is now here, retrograde, Saturn is looking. So all the home front things, just too much of energy in that fourth house. It's a very nice and comfortable house actually. Too much energy in that house can spoil the house, but it is slowly being better. Saturn, though Lagna Lord aspecting any place, will not create a bad thing for that house, but yes, Saturn is a planet of hindrances and little bit delays. So Jupiter in this last 4 months of its retrogression, sitting in your fourth house, Rahu subsiding, give a thought to how to handle the whole home front. If property related matters, if your real estate things, you want to buy a car for your home, you want to redecorate it, something, all and your well-being of your own heart, your good own well-being needs to be taken care of. You have gone through a heavy heart, now it needs to be cleansed and healed. So Jupiter will do the thing. When it will travel in Ashwini and Bharani starting direct from January, you'll go through a lot of changes in this area. Lot of your heart will change. You will come out of that metamorphosis stage. That will happen. So good luck for you, Capricorn ascendants, for this transit of Jupiter. Now is the Aquarius Lagna people. Aquarius Lagna, Jupiter is in the third house, being the lord of the second and the 11th. So two money houses, lord traveling in the third house, wanting you to put some effort. Maybe some money has dropped down, it can happen. Maybe your savings, little bit, it has been spent due to some things, maybe your smallest of desires, maybe some, because see, third house is not, Jupiter is not very good in the third house, and second and 11th lord is all about money and well-being of family and networking circles. Maybe you have had lot short distance journeys that can have panned out, because third house is that you could have changed your neighborhood, you could have moved out of your house, your home environment, and now Jupiter wants you to understand whether your money things, your theme is working well regarding the second and the 11th house. Because see, understand that this contemplation is very important, friends, because Rahu will very fast move into your second house. So you have to give a good check, keep a good check, and contemplate on your incoming gains, on your networking circles, on the desires you have, and also on the food you take, on your savings and all these things. You have to keep reminding yourself that wherein I have to put in the effort. Rahu was there in the third, that was a good placement actually. Now it is going into the second, so all these things you have to make a good regime, a disciplined life you have to follow. This is the theme that will pan out in the retrogression time in the third house. You can travel, sudden travels can happen, because third house, Jupiter aspecting the 9th house, it is aspecting the 7th house, the 11th house. So all these things can happen. Some problem related to your stomach area can happen, can crop up. Some health issues can crop up, because that 7th house is having a lot of aspect. Mercury is Kambas retrograde there. Venus is in the 6th house now, as of now. Then it will come again to the 7th house. Jupiter is aspecting retrograde 7th. Saturn is from the Lagna aspecting retrograde in the 7th house. So see, there are so many planets that all is, Leo is having a lot of energy. So please take care of your health also. Stomach area and all this, please take a care. And don't get too much influenced by your desires, because get too much influenced by your partnership, because 7th house is getting a lot of things. Maybe you can have some tussle with your partner also, that can happen. Jupiter will guide you through it, how to handle that situation. That is very important. How to handle, if you have a problem and Guru is aspecting that area, then it gives you the insight, the contemplation in this 4 months, that how to get along with that area, how to not go into murky waters, that have a little bit smoother sail. Think what you can do with those areas, but main theme will be your monetary affairs, because whenever the 2nd and the 11th lord going retrograde, some kind of little bit blockages in the money can also happen. It can happen. Some unforeseen expenditures also can suddenly crop up. So what effort you need to put, being in the 3rd house, Jupiter will be able to convey to you if you are vigilant about it. So thank you. Last ascendant is Pisces. Pisces, Jupiter is your Lagna lord and your 10th lord, and in the 2nd house. So here Pisces people, Rahu will be shortly moving on your Lagna. So 2nd house Jupiter is all about family matters, and also it is aspecting your Artha Trikona of the 6th and the 10th house, and also the 8th house. So please take care of your health. 2nd house Jupiter wants to, I have seen people, they want to eat more and more when Jupiter transit 2nd house, or it is there in the 2nd house, and in the 8th house it is putting an aspect. So look about sudden health matters also, and because the Lagna lord, right? So Lagna lord going into the 2nd house and looking into the 8th house, you are fully focused on your savings and your family, and some kind of things is panning out. You want to focus more on, you're thinking how to do that, how to put more effort on your saving, what to do in the coming days. That can be a theme that is planning out in your mind. Do that. That's very important. That is what your Lagna lord and your 10th house lord is making you do. You can also discuss with some people, one people in your family, because the 2nd house is about family. So if any close member you want to discuss with regarding yourself, regarding your savings, regarding your the 10th area, the profession, you can do that. All these things, Jupiter can make you take some loan. You want to take a loan due to something, Jupiter can make you contemplate a little bit, that think, do you need this, how much you need, if you need it. All these themes are important. Jupiter is good in the 2nd house, it is good, but as of now it is retrograde with Rahu, and Rahu will transiting into your Lagna. So this time you take a little bit of thinking about the whole thing. It's like, you're preparing for the drama that is going to unfold. So let's prepare a little bit. Why to jump into things all the time? Let us take some time off, Pisces ascendant, and think about the things, because it is again redoing things. Maybe you, because Jupiter had been in your, both Guru Chandal Yoga was there in your 2nd house, Jupiter and Rahu. So you had been planning something about your savings and about yourself and all these. But the thing is that Rahu gives a tinge of shadiness also in that thought. Once Rahu subsides, when Jupiter is left alone, though Saturn is aspecting from the 12th house, that is your 12th house lord, 11th house lord, again it is make you thinking about your expenses, and your 11th house is also your incoming gains and all, that is also retrograde. So both the retrograde planets, your Lagna is in between. Rahu will go to the Lagna, lot of energy near your Lagna. Think about it, not a time to rush into things. Take these 4 months. Sudden things can happen in these 4 months. It will make you understand, yes, you are going in the right direction, not in the right direction. What correction needs to be made regarding yourself, regarding profession, regarding expenses, regarding your savings, and also regarding your food intake and health. Also, if you want to take some loan and do certain jobs, if you want to buy a house or something, whatever. So all these area will come under a scanner by Jupiter, your Lagna Lord. Okay, so this is the theme that is going to pan out in the next 4 months. Hope you enjoyed my video, friends. And I'm telling that retrograde planet is a very strong planet. Don't underestimate it, but it's slight passive because it's the energy is internalized. The energy cannot be, it is not a rushing energy. It is internalized. You know, you have to do the things perfectly now in order, and so for that order we need some kind of thinking and redoing of things that already had been done, or some decision had been taken. Okay, so redo that decision, redo that thing. That is how the theme of retrograde or any planet, so not only Jupiter, any retrograde planet plays out mainly with that kind of a theme. Okay, this is the end of my video. We'll come with the next video, some other topic. Thank you for watching me.